Hi all. This is an introduction to the new Git 2 based Brahma6 ProRes. Why ProRes? Well, I didn't want to call it a Pro, which originally was going to call it a Pro. In fact, it's written on the back, on the box, Pro, but purely because it's a 3D printed, and whilst it's a very strong rig, and I think it's a very, very well made rig. I decided to concentrate on the resolution. So the reason for going up to this new resolution is because at the moment most people, the Xiaomi's do a fantastic little 4K resolution, which is what we're at the moment, and we can't really show any more than that. None of the systems really cope with more than that, and we're going to be on 4K output for quite some time. However, there is a future coming where you will be able to do 6K and 8K video in virtual reality as well. So I think it's important to address that market, and people want to be able to have this much higher resolution. Now, the other great thing about this is that having a higher resolution to start with means you're downscaling a high resolution to a lower resolution, which gives you much better output. If you look at my 4K output from these rigs, it's way better than the others, because the others are actually recording at that. And yes, I mean, in fact, even with the Xiaomi, it's slightly above and it's scaling it down, and you get great results. But this is a different league. I mean, if you look at some of my examples I'm getting from this, so even though this camera I'm going to show you in a minute, it does 9K or higher resolution. This is the equirectangular source resolution. I'm not talking about the individual cameras, and it is very amazing quality. And then you scale that. I mean, even it's like a photo, so you scale that down. But you're basically you're ready for when 8K software is and systems can actually get an 8K video, wrap it round the sphere, and be able to look at it. And for example, the HMDs don't. The most you really can be push into that is probably 5, maybe 6K. Sorry, onto one of the. I didn't mention this. Look, I've got an Oculus Rift. Probably 6K. So if you put it in a head-mounted display, even this kind of wasted. But this is giving you potential for the future, for some time. So that's why I'm calling it the ProRes. Anyway, moving on from that, because this is going to go on forever. Right. So basically, now the difference between this and the other ones is with the Xiaomi, the original Xiaomi ones are you build them yourself, okay, and you can continue doing that. And these are more expensive, okay. Even if you build them yourself, they're more expensive. But what we're doing is we're building these, supplying them literally as a kit, okay, ready to go. These are not going to be available as a build your own, because I think if you want to build your own, you're trying to get costs down, you might as well do the Xiaomi, and the Xiaomi still give you fantastic results. This is for a different market. Now, if a lot of people say to me, no, we actually want to do this, can we build our own? Then I'll release the rig and then we'll do that. But I'm going for a different target audience. So this is an experiment, and again, if people ask for it, if people ask, no, we want to build our own, then I'm sure we'll open it up for people. Right. So basically, let's talk about it as a kit. So what you get as a kit. So you get this nice bag. Some early people, you may find, some of you maybe not, because it's got EOS on it. And it's got Canon written on it. This is the one I ordered in, but I found the supplier in China for the original. So I've got a sample coming. Then we'll get some of these. So hopefully it won't have any branding on it. I don't think it really matters having Canon on it. I don't think it's a big problem. Right. So this is what you get. So this is the Brahma6, and we're selling these for £799. Okay. I think it actually comes out if you're in America and we're selling it. If we exporting it to America, I think it's just above $1,000. Okay, so think of this as $1,000 rig, but bearing in mind there's VAT involved in this as well, which goes on. So I'm just saying, if I export it to a dollar-based country, then it's about $1,000. What you're going to get. Okay, you're going to get an awful lot here. So basically, what do you get? Right, let me open this up so you can see it, shall we? Right, so here's the bag. Okay, so this is how it's going to come. It comes in a nice bag. I mean, I'm going for a theme here, in case you've noticed, because I like the red and black. Now, if you don't like red and black, I do apologise, but I think it actually looks quite nice. And when it comes, it'll come with all the boxes as well. I'm going to give you the Get 2 boxes that the cameras come with. So in the package, the actual box that it comes in, cardboard, all those will be in there as well. So if you want to at some point upgrade and you want to sell the cameras separately, you'll be able to sell them all individually and get a bit more money from them because of the boxes. Anyway, so here's your USB cables, 6 USB cables, and it comes with a strap. Okay, it's got a strap in there. What else it got in there? It comes with a bag, right? It comes with a bag, and you wrap that round it so if it's rain, it keeps it. It's waterproof, okay? So it comes with that. But most importantly, the rig, okay? Let's pop this here. I'll put this over here out of the way with all the other goodies. Right now, first thing to note, it doesn't come with this bit, okay? But can you see that little black, that circular bit there? That comes with it, okay? That's the camera. That's screws from the rig to allows you to screw it into the base of here, but or you can spin it into the top of your. I'm pointing over there. Spin it to. But this is actually part of my. This is my holder. Okay, you see that? So that goes and that clips into the thing. But the rig is what we're talking about here. Okay, and as you can see, we've got six Get 2 cameras. I do want you to watch the range introduction to explain the business with the sensor. I haven't got time to go through it here, but so watch that video first. It's very important. It's basically, very briefly, it's telling you the sensors on here aren't quite 4K. They're not quite 4K, but because you've got way over the top resolution and you're going to scale it way down, it doesn't matter. Okay, but I just wanted to be aware of that. It means it's actually more important with this one, okay? But there was a video about that. Right, so what we've got now one massive improvement on this. People have seen it and they've actually seen this ring. There's only one or two. The cameras clip in, so you have these little arms. Okay, it's very hard to do this actually. Let me just see. So can you see those little arms just there? And you just pop. It's actually quite tricky to. It's easier for me to just do this. Hang on, there we go. So you just literally pop that out. Okay. Once you got one out, actually it's a lot easier with the rest of them because you can just push from behind and open them up and pop them out. But yeah, so you'll notice on the bottom cameras they're in set. Okay, and that's to save material basically. So the bottom cameras are in set. But it doesn't affect anything. They're all perfectly positioned lenses. Okay, it's just otherwise if I'd filled this out, it would have cost more in material, put the price of the rig up and so on. So that's why they're like that. But it does mean that where are we? This one's a bit closer there. Okay, so just push out on that one. You get used to it. Just be careful. We think they're very, very strong. But of course they could break. But they are. It's called strong and flexible plastic for a good reason. Okay, and that's because they are very strong. I mean, you can't actually see how much pressure I'm putting on that, but they are good. But it does mean that they're very, very simple to take out and put back in. So if you want to put this back in, which way round? That's that way round. All right, we literally just, again, it's difficult to do this with one hand, but there you go. So that's in there. Line it up. You get used to it, and then just push in the middle, and that localises everything. There's back stops to stop it going through the back of the rig. And that's it, and they just clip on there and they hold off, and I can shake it, right? But they're all fixed in there really nicely, and that I think is a big improvement over the last one, apart from the fact the cameras are way better. So you've got 6 cameras in here, what we end up with is an enormous resolution capability. If you now, it's very right. Bear in mind if you go and look at the other video, the thing with the sensor. The sensor is actually about 15% under 4K sensor that they use. But no one's really going to go above 8K video resolution for a long, long time. And this comes out about 20% more resolution than 4K. So I think it's a moot point. I think it's irrelevant, to be fair, in the overall scheme of things. Plus the quality is amazing. So I don't think that actually matters. I mean, for people out there going, oh, it's kind of off. Yes, I know. I've been straight about that. But I think you'll see the results are stunning. Anyway, So as you can see, all the cameras come with a nice little cover, keeps them protected, which unfortunately the Xiaomi's didn't, and I never got around to actually getting any covers for them. But people, I'm sure, got their own, and we didn't supply them anyway, so they're buying their own cameras. But this is nice because they all come with covers, and they sit on there really nicely. Okay. What I want to do now is actually want to show. Well, first of all, what I'm going to discuss is this business of the recording, the resolutions, and the frame rates. So there's two modes that we use on here. One's a 2880 by 2160, which is 24 frames per second. Now I have this argument with people all the time. They say, "Oh, that's no good. You need 60." No, you don't. I mean, there are occasions where high-speed filming is important, and I totally understand. I do get that. I mean, you know, for slow-mo and that kind of thing, and these are not your cameras, okay? However, there's a 24. That's a 24 frames per second, and there's also a 1920 by 1440 mode, which is the mode we need, which is 30 frames a second. Now that's probably the one you'll use the most, because for one thing, then you're using a full sensor, you're using all data, right? And the sensor's bigger than that mode, so it's brilliant for that. So you're getting full sense data, and the combined resolution that you get when you put them all the feeds together comes to about 6.5K, okay, 30 frames per second. So you've basically got 30 frames per second, 6.5K, which is most systems can't cope with it. But you've also got this 24 frames a second 8K mode, or even if you want to push it to 9, you can push it to 9 as well, which is kind of silly stuff for the future. But I think the 1440 mode would be the best one, and that's the one I'm going to concentrate on here. Again, this will go to 8K, and I think it's a true 8K because, you know, the whole business about, you know, it actually will generate 9.5. Okay, and I've got a photograph somewhere showing that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to switch displays, and I'm going to load up my AutoPano software, and I'm going to now. I'm hoping this won't crash the system. Because I'm going to chuck in some, right, there's some pretty big files. Now let me see if I've on here, hopefully I've deleted it actually, it'd be funny if I have. Right, now this, we better, okay, let's do this a test. Right, okay, that's for Brahma6, which will be on the Brahma7 introduction video. Let's do it with Brahma6. Now each of these video files, okay, is 2880 by 2160 at 24 frames a second. So if you go and watch the Brahma7 one, you can see the 30 frames a second one, which will give this. Now this is going to give a massive output. I mean, a ridiculous output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through and actually process these, so you can see me do these. Okay, so there's my 6 videos, and I drop them into here. Okay. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Instead of doing that, I've changed my mind because I've already done this and synced it. And I can't remember where the sync was. I think because that's a separate video of how to sync these up. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just open the project because it's easy that way. Then we can just see it, because I haven't got time to do the full tutorial on this, obviously. Now the video may go a bit because it's doing an awful lot of work, and that's another reason for delaying this. So again, we're sitting here waiting for it to load, as you can see. Right, it doesn't seem to be affecting, because I use I'm chatting away while it's doing that. I use XSplit Broadcaster, which is an amazing piece of software. Oh, here we go. See now, AutoPano is amazing software, but it's not the most bug-free. Right, can you see now that this is what this is? I mean, I literally just dropped this in. I didn't do anything else. I just dropped this in, but I have synced the audio with this. It's the usual thing with syncing. If you're new to this, there's another video about this, and I'll probably do another version with this to explain sync. But you have to because you've got 6 cameras, and especially with this one, because it's not got the software that we have with the old rigs to control them, start them all together. You have to manually start them, so they all start at different times. And you have to do synchronization. I'll do another video on this to give you some information about that. But for this, just take into account I've done the audio sync. Okay, so you can see it's put these together. If I double click on here, and you can see this is the output I'm getting. Now, what you need to do is look into here. You can see a stitch here, and you can see a stitch here. I Okay, but I haven't done anything more with this. Okay, and that's pretty well stitched straight away. Now, very importantly, I nearly gave up with this project because when I first popped them in, it didn't work. Because I used, which I always use, if I click on the stitch button here, I don't use that one. I usually use the GoPro Hero 3.4 template model. And when I stitched it with that, it was rubbish. It was all bent and twisted. And I thought, oh God, this is a nightmare. However, I went to bed thinking I was going to have to blow this one out. And I woke up in the morning with a brainwave. So I did some research on the lens model, which I'd put in, to be fair, I'm not completely stupid, but I'd looked on the Viofo site for the Git 2, and they said they had a focal length of 3.5 millimeters, which was wrong, which didn't do anything. It was rubbish. But with experimentation, I found the setting 14.5, so anything above 13, okay, I'm on 14.5 with a fisheye setting, and it comes up like this. Really important, okay, that you set it, manual lens setting 14.5, fisheye lens, okay, and then it stitches like that. Now, yeah, if you're new to this whole business of stitching, you might say, well, they're not joined. Well, this is an art. You know, this work is actually an art from a lot, but this is why it's a kind of a pro end thing. You do have to tweak and just finish them off, but that most people will tell you that's pretty damn close. Okay, and it's just a few little tweaks you want to do, but the resolution also, now this display you're looking at here is 1920, but actually the video samples, oh, that's a good point. Oh, it's not showing me the actual size, is it? Damn. Do you know what, because I want you to see just how big this resolution is, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually do this, right? Let me do this again. I'm actually going to do what I started to do, right? Because you can't see, because I've pre-done this. This is a job I've already done. I'm not going to do the audio. I'm just going to stitch, right? I'm going to use my lens model, current position, and I'm just going to press stitch. Now, what I'm hoping is, you might find this video goes, and you may find color crashes. Because I love it. It's a fantastic piece of software, but it's not bug free. XSplit is an amazing. It uses the GPU heavily, and it's a bit more reliable. But you know, see, look, I don't know if the audio's breaking up here, but you can see the video stuttering. It doesn't. Well, you can see it's not crashed. I did notice when I actually do the render. Well, I'm very nervous of using AutoPanner at the same time as broadcast. Here we go. Let's see what we come out with. Oh, see, it's come back. When you actually render, I tried rendering this, and actually render it, it crashed. Something to use on top. Although I've upgraded my memory, so I put 16 gig of RAM in it. A good idea, 16 gig now. Oh, by the way, yeah. Going from the old Xiaomi, which was like these 2K cameras, okay, to the 4K cameras. You can't do this in 8 gig of RAM. 16 gig of RAM is minimum because it's blowing it up. Literally, don't even try this. If you haven't got 16 gig of RAM, it will color just crashes. It wiped out my NVIDIA driver settings. Okay, you need 16 gig of RAM. I'm gonna put it 16 gig. Don't even bother with this. 16 gig RAM. Now, can you see it's done this? If I double click on this, fill it up. Right, so then what we've got, and then all we do, I do love this. So I moan about it, but I do love this software. It is amazing. Hopefully my software might be as good one day, but probably not. Right, so there you can see we apply that, and as you can see now, I've got this lovely stitch. It's not perfect. You can fine tune it, but I haven't got time for that. I want to show you the render. So if I click on render, I'm not going to render. Right, can you see the size of that? 9,224 width by 4,612. Yeah, that is the resolution I've got to play with. If I wanted to, I could render it out at that resolution, which is above 8K is 7,800 and something, or forget what it is. 7.5, some 7.5 to between 7.5 to 8,000 width. I've got 9,200. right? So even if you take into account that these are not giving you a true 4K sensor, and they're bumping it up 15%, maybe something like 15, 16%, something like that. I'm so over the top with the resolution. It doesn't matter. Scale it back down. Now, most people, when you do this, if you do this at the maximum at the moment on here. Now, my friend has got some extra output. Now, I haven't got all. This is a system. Just I've installed this with the auto panel. It turns out there is other resolutions, but I can't use the Cineform ones, and I've even tried converting them. I can't. So the only resolution I can do, if I do the normal UHD TV, you see it says 3840 by 1920, but I'm now starting to use 4K Cinema, which is 4096 by 2048. Now, can you see I'm having to squash that down to about 23% of the size. I've got masses of resolution. Anyone says we haven't got massive resolution, right? Now, bear in mind this is running at 24 frames per second. Now, this is where the other mode comes in. If I was to do it at 30 frames per second with the 1440p mode, which I would recommend for now, everyone does, you'll be getting 6,500 by about 3,200 or something like that, which is a 30. I think that's probably the mode most people should do, but you can see what it's capable of. So I want people to see that. Now, I'm not going to render this because Auto Panel will do the kind thing and crash my video. So I'm going to close that down. So I as I said, I do have a bit of a pop at it, but it is actually a wonderful piece of software. Anyway, there you go. So let's flick back to my screen. So if you come onto here, so you can see on my homepage, Brahma360, my Facebook page. It would be nice if you're seeing this and you didn't come from my Facebook page. It would be really nice actually. We're Brahma360 now. I've rebranded everything. So come into here, and if you can like the page, that'd be fantastic. I'm nearly at 500 likes, which is good. Let's close that. That was a guy actually who told me about the thing. So I've been open with everyone. Right, so if we go onto here, let me just show you this. So if you come onto my site, you can see I've got the product comparison chart. Okay, I'll put the links here. Shows you the differences. This is the Brahma6 here, the Brahma6 ProRes. And that's what you're getting. That's the bag and the rig, etc. It's £799 plus shipping. Shipping seems to be about £35. Sadly, I've got a customer wants it in Brazil. It's nearly 60. So, but that's by UPS. So it's about £35 shipping charge, which is added. But there you go. So that's there'll be this page is, you can see more details to come. I've got a lot more information. This video is part of it. These videos, and there's some samples here you can see. So if I click on that, and that's running at 4K, yeah. So anyway, so there's stuff. Well, there's samples on the site, on the YouTube channel. Hopefully, you're impressed with that, and I hope that people have as much fun with this rig when they ship. I'm expecting numbers of people to. I'm doing this. Obviously, getting these in. They'll be on back order. Delivery time from the date that we place the order is about 14 days between. Say 14 days before we ship, because it takes a week, roughly a week to 2 weeks to get them all in. Because when you order these, they're going to come in. It's going to be on back order. So hopefully at some point I'll have them in stock, but at the moment they're on back order. So if you do want to get in there, then just give us a call. It'll be Caroline you'll be talking to, because as I said before, I've got a day job. Maybe one day this will turn into a business. I don't know, but you'll be talking to Caroline because during the day. It doesn't mean you won't be able to talk to me, but you may find Caroline answers a lot of the messages. If you've got a specific message for me, send it. Not a problem. Either I can shout across the room to her and tell her the answer, or I'll answer it, outside normal hours. But this way, at least people start shipping, and we can see what we can do with this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. As usual, so it went on forever. But hopefully there was some good information there, and you enjoy it. And thanks very much. Let's see if I can turn this off, shall we? Thanks a lot. Bye.